To open our hearing, I've invited the body-worn camera manufacturer and distributor WOLFCOM here today. Since 2011, WOLFCOM has specialized in body camera worn technology for law enforcement. They supply over 300 law enforcement agencies with body cameras, distribute their products worldwide, but more importantly, they're the only body camera worn manufacturer based in California, out of Hollywood. Please welcome Peter Onruang, WOLFCOM's founder, and Tiffany Wong, WOLFCOM's CEO. Thank you, Mr. Onruang.
Right. We're going to go ahead and start first by passing out the body cameras to you guys.
Sure. And you're passing out body cameras you actually are being used right now in the field by law enforcement officers?
So good afternoon, and thank you for having me here. My name is Peter Austin Onruang, and I am the founder of WOLFCOM. I have a saying, a belief, that if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then audio and video documentation is worth millions of dollars saved in litigation. The time for body cameras has come. We need them. Police officers and the public need body cameras to document their everyday activities. We need something that will be a third eye for law enforcement and for the public. Something, a body camera that will see and remember what you forgot. That will be the truth behind false accusations when he needs it the most. But where do you buy these body cameras? Online, on eBay, on the internet? No, you can't, because those body cameras are not designed for law enforcement use, and that's where WOLFCOM comes in. We make body cameras specifically for law enforcement. And so I'd like to introduce to you our body camera, our vision for the future, the WOLFCOM vision. Designed, assembled, tested, and shipped from Hollywood, California. Our body cameras are designed specifically for law enforcement. And so I'd like to show you a short video of what this body camera can do, and the video starts with a gunshot.
Hey there, 13, this call back, subject now 417, inside the building, male white, flannel shirt, he insists.
10-4, David Edward 13, shots fired.
David 13, copy, shots fired.
Stay together, stay together, stay together, stay together.
How many shots? How many guys? 1, 2, 1 guy? 1 guy. He went that way. Clear! Where do you go? Where do you go?
Stay together, stay together. Stay together, watch your corners.
Watch the left.
No long.
Watch.
So we call it the vision because it's our vision for how body cameras should be like in the future. So how should they be? Well, body cameras need to be configurable. Law enforcement agencies have their own requirements, and so they need a body camera that they can configure to fit that requirement. Body cameras need to be lightweight, comfortable, and mountable. Officers already are wearing over 30 pounds of gear on their belt, and the last thing they need is extra weight. And so to have a lightweight body camera is important to give that officer that comfort. Comfort is important when you're working and you're doing your duties. The last thing you want to worry about is being uncomfortable. And of course, your body camera needs to be mountable. You need to be able to place it on any part of your body, on any type of uniform, to try to achieve that comfort zone. Body cameras also need to have a rotatable camera lens, because the last thing you want is to invest in a body camera and record only the sky or the ground. You need to be able to adjust that camera lens so that it's aiming right in front of you where you want it to go. Body cameras, of course, most importantly, have to be easy to use. Officers don't have time to fumble with switches and buttons. They need to be able, under a stressful condition, to activate the body cameras and deactivate it easily. Body cameras, in our opinion now, need to be more than just a body camera. They need to be multi-purpose and multifunctional. They need to be actually be used as a tool that an officer can use in his everyday duties, whether it's taking photos of crime scenes, bodily injuries, or vandalism. So we try to design our body cameras to be multifunctional, multi-purpose. Security is important also. The chain of custody must be protected. That means that you cannot have a body camera with a removable SD card. An officer shouldn't be able to remove the SD card and delete files and stick it back in. And likewise, if that body camera is lost and the public was to find this body camera, they shouldn't be able to access the files. Body cameras also have to be future technology ready, and the reason why is because technology is moving at a fast pace, and so you don't want to make an investment only to find out that your body camera is already outdated. So they need to be able to be future technology ready, able to accept technology that it's either in its infancy stage or hasn't been invented yet. Also, you need body cameras to have pre-record buffering, the ability to reach back in time and record the first 60 seconds or more before activation of the camera occurs. And also, body cameras should also have an optional public awareness system, a way to alert the public that they're being recorded, and that promotes good behavior. A body camera should also have, for the future, a two-camera system, and I'll cover that in the next few slides. So I'd like to show you the vision on the screen. Now that is the WOLFCOM vision in its entirety. It can record over 17 and a half hours of continuous, non-stop audio and video recording. And this is perfect for those that require a long shift. But in our research and feedback from fellow officers, what we've discovered is that majority of the officers don't need that much time recording. They only need basically just 2 hours of recording time. And so we configured our body cameras so that you can actually eliminate that extra weight, that battery pack. And if you look on the screen, that's what you end up with. Something that's only 2.2 ounces connected to your glasses. And that will give you 2.5 hours of additional battery life without the battery pack. Now, if you look at the way it works, our body camera consists of two cameras. One that's mounted on the glasses, which is a primary camera, and the second is the camera that's mounted on, built into the main unit, which is a secondary camera. And these two cameras work together for a new technology, which we call critical reconnect. Now, what is critical reconnect? Well, it reconnects at the critical moment. So the WOLFCOM vision, it works on a two-camera system. The primary headset camera records the main event, and the secondary onboard camera acts as emergency backup. So in an event, the camera is ripped away during a fight or struggle of the suspect, the secondary camera will resume recording of the audio and video. And I'm going to play a short clip just to show an example of the advantages of critical reconnect.
Hey, sir, what are you doing there?
Smoking a cigarette?
You know you're trespassing? Let me see your hands.
What am I doing?
Turn around. Let me see your hands behind your back.
What am I doing, man? I told you I'm not doing anything.
Hey, drop the knife.
What am I doing?
Drop it or I'll shoot.
No!
Drop.
Now, the WOLFCOM Vision is a 3-in-1 multifunctional device. Built into each unit is a video camera, a digital camera, and a voice recorder packaged into one tiny perfect unit. The Vision is smaller than a business card and smaller than a credit card. It has 1080p high-resolution recording. That's at GoPro quality. In fact, we use the same chip as GoPro for our body cameras. It only weighs 2.2 ounces. As a video camera, the WOLFCOM Vision can record and store up to 36 hours of video. As a digital camera, it can take and store up to 56,000 photos. And as a voice recorder, it can record and store up to 360 hours of audio. We feature a rotating camera lens that an officer can adjust according to his height or stature. Now, in this photo collage, I'll show you exactly what you can do with the Vision, how you can configure it, wear it on your body, and the things you can do with it. So we start out with the box in green. You could use the Vision as a standalone unit and clip it onto your chest. You could rotate the lens and clip it onto your shoulder epaulet for the above-the-shoulder view. You could also wear it on your belt and rotate the camera lens upwards. If you're using a secondary primary camera, you can actually clip it onto your glasses for that point of view video perception. You could take that same camera and you can clip it onto your shoulder, and that's exactly what I have in the example that I'm wearing right now. And that gives you the above-the-shoulder view, and it's ideal for officers who want something that's above the shoulder but doesn't want the uncomfortable feeling of having something on their head. For those that desire point-of-view recording, but they don't wear glasses or sunglasses, We also offer headsets that can connect to the body camera as well. For those requiring night vision or a low-profile look, we have our night vision camera, and it connects into the pen pocket of the officer, and that will give an additional 20 feet of recording in pitch black darkness. The Vision can also be used as an in-car dash camera, replacing those expensive $5,000 dash cams by clipping it onto the windshield visor of your vehicle. As a voice recorder, it's perfect for recording interviews with suspects or people who are camera shy. You can connect it to a docking station in the patrol car to charge and transfer data files to the management system. And also, our newest thing, you can connect it to our telescopic monitor and use it as a bomb camera to search for bombs underneath vehicles, or to stick it up in an attic when you're searching for a suspect without placing a canine or an officer in harm. Now, I'd like to go a little bit more about external cameras so you can understand them much better. We have the eye vision here, the head vision, the night vision camera, and the covert vision. And all these cameras can be plugged into the WOLFCOM Vision and utilize the same critical reconnect technology. The eye vision can connect to the glasses, the collar, the cap or helmet, rifle or shotgun. The head vision can be worn on the head comfortably, and as you can see in the picture here, he has the headset connected to the vision that's on his chest, and the critical reconnect feature will still work. In the event that that headset gets ripped away, the main body camera will resume recording of the audio and video. We also have night vision. Like I said, it gives you, an officer, the ability to have that low-profile look, but also night vision. It can see up to 20 feet in darkness. And you could also clip that vision onto your belt. For undercover officers or private investigators, we also include the covert vision pinhole button camera. Basically, it replaces the buttons on your shirt so you can take covert recordings. Our WOLFCOM Vision is also the first body camera in the world to feature a flashlight and a camera flash. Now, what's the benefit of flashlight? Well, we envision a nighttime traffic stop where an officer is standing by the driver's door window. With the flashlight, he can illuminate the interior of the vehicle, therefore blinding the people inside, giving him a safe tactical advantage. It would also illuminate the interior of the vehicle, also light up a citation book. And most importantly, it will keep his hands free. In the event they pull out a weapon, he can slap that weapon away and reach for his own.
So the WOLFCOM Vision can be mounted on the shoulder, on the chest, and on the belt. And the point of view external cameras can be mounted on the hat, on the eyeglasses, on the collar, or in the pen pocket. And a pinhole button camera can covertly be mounted here, inside the uniform. On the flashlight, just push this button right here.
We also have something called advanced pre-record, the ability to go back 60 seconds all the way up to 30 minutes from the time the officer activates the camera. And the reason why we made it 1 minute to 30 minutes is because 60 seconds is simply not enough. And the reason is, case in point, last year, NYPD officers was attacked by a man with an axe. Now, in this situation, had they been wearing body cameras, the last thing on their mind would be to activate the body camera. They'd be trying to survive, stay alive, trying to call for backup, trying to reach for the weapon. And so, in an instant like that, 10 to 20 minutes may elapse by the time the situation is under control. And after 20 minutes has passed, the suspect's either dead or apprehended. The officers may be in the back of a paramedic's van being attended to when his fellow officers come up to him and say, hey, we're glad you're safe. Did you activate your body camera? At that point, when he does, he only captures the first 30 seconds. So in our opinion, 30 seconds is not enough, and we feel the body camera should have the ability to have pre-record buffering time from 60 seconds to 30 minutes.
Question for you, Mr. Onruang.
Sure.
I know you have more units, and I want to welcome Assemblyman Gallagher, who just joined us. Is it possible to pass one or two of these units out to the audience so the folks in the audience can see them? I know this is my first time handling one. And we're also joined by Member Rodriguez. Any comments, Mr. Gallagher or Mr. Rodriguez? I know you're on the spot now. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you for bringing this meeting forward.
information here to learn from and work together on this, as we see this as a trend going with the body cameras throughout the state of California. So thank you very much for bringing it together, Mr. Cooper.
Thank you.
Just briefly, again, I'm here to listen and learn. I want to, hear more about how the body cams actually work, what they do capture. At least one concern that I've heard from some of my officers is that, certainly having body cams will help with, some greater transparency, and so you can see exactly what occurred. But, a digital image doesn't always capture what the human eye and the human experience captures in that moment. And I know from a lot of my officers, there's a whole lot of different things that are going on in the moment other than just what might be seen on the camera. Something I'd be looking for is like, how does that capture the full context of what might have happened in a particular event? Definitely interested in that. And so thank you guys for being here today. I appreciate this information. I think it's vital that we hear from everybody involved with this issue so that we can really make informed decisions about policy going forward.
Thank you. And we're also joined by Assemblymember Dababne. Would you like to make a comment or?
Thank Assemblymember Cooper for helping to put this together. Obviously, this is something that affects every one of our communities. I've been very impressed by some of the recent dialogue and conversation we've had between law enforcement and also groups that really care about privacy and protecting our constituencies. And I look forward to having a rational policy that comes out of this that makes our communities safer and also makes sure that law enforcement has an ability to do their job, which is protecting us. So thank you so much.
I know you made a comment earlier about the video being able to access it, a minute prior to something happening. Because I realize with the in-car cameras, if you're involved in an automobile accident, they can go back and rewind that even though it wasn't on and actually record that. So that's interesting. So you're able to go back once it's activated. But if it's never activated, can you retrieve that information?
You can retrieve that information. So once you activate your body camera, it's actually recording in the background continuously. So once you activate your body camera to begin the recording, it will then save the previous 60 seconds to 30 minutes of recording and include it with that video.
So once you activate it, it can go back up to 30 minutes?
Yes.
As long as it's activated?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And with or without audio. So departments have the choice to configure it without audio as well.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So there are actually 3 ways to tell if a body camera is recording. And this is very important to officers from our feedback that we received, is that sometimes under a stressful condition, they want to be able to tell or know if it's recording. They need this confirmation. So there are 3 ways to tell the camera's recording. One is physically, visually, and with vibration confirmation. So because we put switches on our body cameras, an officer can physically feel that the switch is down, and therefore he would know that it's on and recording. Another way is if you look on the top of the unit, right here where I'm shining the laser, we actually put an LED light there that's deep down inside, so an officer can look down and see that the light is on, therefore confirming that video recording is on. And that same light cannot be seen by the public at night, thereby not giving away his position at nighttime. Another way is by vibration. So when you activate the unit, it will vibrate to alert you that recording has activated. And when you deactivate the unit, it will also vibrate as well. It will also vibrate when the battery is low. We have something new called the public awareness light. And basically, I'm wearing it right now. And so the public awareness light is designed to promote good behavior, to alert the public that they're being recorded. So this public awareness light, this recording light here, it comes on during recording. And an officer or department can configure it to stay steady on when it's recording, to flash when it's recording, or to never come on at all. And we know that most officers in the United States prefer not to have this record light on because they don't want a bullseye on their chest at nighttime. But this feature is popular in other parts of the world. And that's called the public awareness light. There's 4 new technologies. I know I've already covered 2, which is Critical Reconnect and also the Future Technology Ready. But I'd like to cover something which we call AVD, Anti-Video Deactivation Technology. So if you look at that switch there, that's what we call the OTR switch. And the OTR stands for one touch record. So in normal operations, an officer would just press that switch down, the unit will power on, and will begin recording audio and video. And then to stop recording, all he has to do is just flick that switch up. However, what if he was to get into a fight or struggle with a suspect, and during that struggle, that switch got bumped up? Then the unit will power off. So we have something called AVD. And if you enable AVD on the unit, then the switch will actually work a little bit differently. You can still activate it by pressing switch down, and the unit will begin recording audio and video. But then to power off the unit, you'll have to press the switch up, down, up, and unit will power off. And that's AVD, anti-video deactivation. Our body cameras also use something called nanotechnology. We instead of making our body cameras mil-spec, mil-spec's rating makes our cameras more heavier and more expensive, and what we want to do is lower our costs and make our body cameras lighter. So we utilize nanotechnology, which is a special coating over our cameras. And basically what it does, it protects them from water, dust, and humidity. It's perfect for rain or rainstorm. And it eliminates the need for the expensive mil-spec rating. I covered future technology already, and a good example of future technology is the ability to remote view. The ability for commanding officers at the station to log in and view live remotely what is going on from an officer's camera on the field as things happen. So we feel that remote view is going to be a requirement in the next few years. But our body cameras is ready for remote view now. It's capable of allowing third-party devices, such as maybe a tablet or a cell phone, to connect to it to stream out that live images, and it's ready right now. Now, badge numbers. Body cameras need to have an officer's badge number stamped onto every video file, frame by frame, and picture by picture. So the ability to put badge numbers on a video is very important, and that's what we can do also. The unit is also password protected. So this means that if the unit is lost by the officer and retrieved by the public, they will not have access to the files. The last thing you want is something uploaded on YouTube. And also the officer who's using a body camera won't be able to delete the files himself.
Mr. Chairman? Do you mind
Sure.
Do you mind if I ask a question now, or you want to wait till the presentation is finished? So I have one question for you. What happens if in pursuit, an altercation, and the wire get disconnected from the unit? How does this capture anything that has transpired?
So what I'm wearing now is pretty much the same setup you have there. It's just a different camera, or the same camera, but clipped onto my collar. So what I'm wearing here is a two-camera system. And because we have a two-camera system, one camera can act as a backup. And this works perfectly with our new technology, which we call critical reconnect.
So I'm sorry, you're saying so an officer has to have two cameras on, or two cameras on?
He can. It's up to him. You know, we designed our camera so that he can just use it as a standalone unit as well.
So if he uses, as a standalone, and because I've been in fights, and so a lot of stuff get taken off in a fight. So if this get pulled away, and now this is attached to my body, right? So my question is, does this still picks up the actual in time, if you will, occurrence that's taking place?
Yes. So if this camera was to become ripped off, this camera here was to be ripped off and disconnected from the main unit will resume recording of the audio and video. And that way the story is not lost, it's told from beginning to end.
So it still records?
Yes.
Okay.
But most folks just wear this. Just use this, correct?
That's their choice. You know, we made it configurable, so if a department or an officer doesn't want to wear this external camera, he could actually just use this as a standalone camera.
But obviously the more, because cost is a big issue, we're hearing from folks that it costs a lot. But obviously if you add on the other attachments, that drives up the cost of the product. So it's my understanding that most agencies typically will just have a standalone unit by itself, correct?
That's true. You know, law enforcement agencies, they have a pretty tight budget, so they want to stretch their dollars, which is also why we try to give them the lowest price point so they can afford both cameras.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just follow up. So it's up to the officer where he wants or she wants this position. So if it's on my waist where my San Brown is, it's kind of I mean, it's way down here. So my question is, how effective is this device when it's on my belt from picking up?
I think if you put it on your belt, depending on the angle, you may not get the angle that you want. We do design the body camera so that an officer can choose where he wants it to be mounted comfortably. But there's also, department policy. Some departments might have a rule where he can't have it on his belt. He needs to have it on his chest or on his epaulet.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, I just had a question. So if I have it here clipped on my uniform, it's the only question I had. So if I go out to put out my arms with my service weapon, would that block the view? So what would you be recording? If I only have this on, right? Mm-hmm. The other one gets ripped off or whatnot, or I'm the officer and I just feel comfortable with it, would that be an obstruction, or how would they position it? I've just had a question.
Well, the answer is yes. That can happen, and it has happened. We've seen video taken with other body cameras that clip onto the front of the chest, and when an officer punches out, there is some blockage. Officers can also clip this onto the epaulet, the shoulder epaulet for the above the shoulder view, and they still have that comfort and that lightweight. Some officers will actually clip it a little bit higher onto their vest, so it's right underneath the neck. Really? It doesn't interfere with the movement of their head, and that way when they punch out, it still records over the top of their hands.
Okay, that's the only question.
Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Tiffany Wang. She's our CEO, and she will cover local storage, evidence management software.
So at WOLFCOM, we don't just want to provide body cameras. We want to provide a...
Could you put the microphone a little closer to you?
Is that better?
A little closer. Yeah, bring it.
There?
You can pull it back towards you.
Okay. So at WOLFCOM, we don't just want to provide body cameras. We want to provide a complete solution that's reliable, easy to use, and easy to understand. And that's going to be true for our body cameras and for our back-end management software. So with our evidence management software, all the files captured, whether it be video, pictures, or audio, can be managed by one evidence management solution. The security of the evidence is the most important. So the software will have individual logins for each user, whether it be the officer, the chief, the secretary. Everyone can have access to the software, but everyone will have their own rights and privileges. So maybe an officer can only see their own files or only the files from their division, or you could have it so the chief could see everybody's files. Certain files can be blocked. So this is all important. And there are times where editing of a video needs to be done, such as redaction. As Mr. Quirk said, there's times where a face needs to be blurred. So in our software, you can have a face blurred, the images that don't need to be seen, or maybe a child's name and report needs to be blacked out. That could all be done in our software. And in that software, the edited version will become a new file, and the original file will always be kept in the software, so that way you know it's authentic. Sometimes you need proof of this. You'll need proof of who saw the files. You want the chain of evidence to be protected. So there's an audit trail report for every single file. The audit trail report will be everything from when the file comes into the software. So who downloaded it, who took the file, who viewed it, who edited it, who burned to disk. Everything will be in that audit trail report. Also in the software, encryption is done. So all the files are encrypted, so that way you know the files are authentic and they can be admissible in court. So like Peter was saying earlier, this is our GPS Direct. So when you're watching the video on our software, you can see the map right next to it, and as the video moves, so does a dot on the map. So this is important if you're in a car chase or in a foot pursuit. You can see exactly where the video is going. So as you can see, WOLFCOM wants to be there with the department from beginning to end, from when an officer leaves the station, when they're capturing video on the field, and when they come back to the station to protect their evidence.
We've got just a few more minutes before you guys need to wrap up. I'd love to have my fellow members be able to ask some questions.
Okay. So that was actually it.
Was it? that was great timing.